Hello everyone! So I haven't done a language resource review in a very long time, and I thought that this week it was about time that I did it. I usually really enjoy doing language resource reviews because I like to sort of pick apart the things that I like and not like about a product. And today we will look at a card game which is specifically designed for language learning, and it's called Language Guardians. This card game was sent to me by Matthew Boyle from languagecardgames.com so I could review the game and give my honest opinion about it. Roughly speaking, the game works pretty much like a game of Uno, and if you have never played Uno before, you're missing out. But don't worry if you've never played Uno before, because the game is very easy to play and the rules are quite simple. Essentially, what you have to do is to put cards on top of each other based on, for example, the theme of the cards. So here you have plant, and for example, I can do this. So plant and plant goes together. So I will put plant on top of each other. And you can also stack them up based on their color. So if this card is red, I can put a red card on top of it, and so on and so forth. And on each card, there is a little task for you to complete. And this one, for example, you have to use an animal name in a sentence. So I'll let you see. And that's really all you have to do in this game. So one of the things I like the most about the game is simply the visuals. I think the visuals look really cool. You can see that they're quite well designed, and they also include nice looking pictures which make the cards a little bit more interesting to look at than a simple basic Uno game, which is a bit more bland. And I personally like the Asian atmosphere to these cards, and that might have to do with the fact that I'm learning Japanese, I don't know, maybe. But overall, the design I think is really cool. There's nothing really I can say about the way the cards look. I think they just look really good. As for the gameplay, I really like it. I think it's very simple, and I like simple because I sometimes play more complex board games and I don't really have the patience to learn rules and take an hour to get into the game because, I don't know, I'm just not a very patient person. But this game, even if you have never played Uno before, is very easy to get your head around. One thing to be aware of in this game though is that it's not for complete beginners. The main requirement for this game is to be able to use a variety of vocab and grammar structures. There's nothing too extreme, but some of the themes such as weapon and danger might be a little bit more difficult for complete beginners, I would say. Having said that, if there are themes that you find too difficult, it's really okay to just remove the cards from the game and just use the themes that are more easy for you. So you can just talk about the weather, about places, about people, which is a little bit more simple for complete beginners. So it is quite adaptable in that sense. In contrast, this game is not really for advanced learners either, in my opinion, because the little tasks you will find on the cards are not really challenging for someone that is advanced, as it only requires you to give words or short sentences. But there is a way to make the game a bit more complex if it's too easy for you, which is to, instead of giving a word, just give a full sentence. Or for example, you can also tell a quick story. For example, if you have this card on transportation, instead of just giving the name of a means of transport like bus, you can just create a very quick story like, once I was in Paris and I took the bus, but that meant that because of that I missed my flight, or something silly like that. Why not? I think overall the game works really well because it gives you lots of opportunities to practice language using adjectives, verbs, full sentences, and a variety of different themes. I would even add that even if the game is made to be played with 2 players or more, it's still possible to sort of play it on your own because it can give you a quick solo speaking practice, especially if you use the tasks on the cards to create short stories. That could even potentially encourage you to improve your proficiency in the language, because as you create your own short stories, you might want to look up some words for things that you don't know how to express. So the game does allow room for creativity in that sense. On the other hand though, and I think that's the only negative thing I would say about this game, is the fact that it could come with extra ways to change things up a bit, such as adding extra rules or other alternative ways of playing the game. To conclude this video, I would personally recommend this card game, especially if you're into board games, as I believe it would provide you with a different way of practicing your language. And if you know people that are interested in language learning and card games, then it can be a nice way to bond with other people. Do feel free to explore the other card games available on the website languagecardgames.com, as maybe you will find other games that you find interesting. So that's it for this video. If you are interested in one of these language card games, I will put a link in the description box below, and you will find also a discount code so you can buy these games for cheaper. And I will see you next week. Bye!